What's up, guys, pals, friends? Holy shitballs, guys. So, anyways, hi. How are you all? I hope you're well. I'm letting people kind of filter in, but so far I love all of you, etc. Most of you, at least, like 99% of you, which is all of you, you know. You couldn't see me in the audience. Well, that's okay. It was a big audience. It was a big theater. There's a ton of people there you probably couldn't see. There's a lot of people. It was pretty fantastical. I guess while we wait for folks to trickle in, I'll just kind of talk about the experience of the Game Awards. Let's see. People that I not only saw but actually talked to and had conversations with. Let's see. Erica Lindbeck, Matt Mercer, Troy Baker, Roger Clark, Nick Apostolides. I mean, actually, pretty much everybody. Yo, Hearts 530. Hey, Skittles. Welcome in, guys. Actually, pretty much everybody that was the English cast for Resident Evil, I talked to, a lot. They hung out. They're really, really cool people. But let's see. Laura Bailey. Let's see, who are surprising ones? Oh yeah, I had a conversation with, thank you Peter for the sub, for the gift sub, for Ribs. Excellent. Neil Druckmann. I actually had a conversation with Neil Druckmann. Jesse Cox. I mean, Zed. It was crazy. It was a really wild time, but a lot of stuff happened, and I can't talk about all of it. Neil Newbon, his lovely wife, Ben Starr, obviously, and Sleep Easy. I hung out with Sleep Easy, and my very own friend Joshy. Stinky Duck, what? 10 gift subs? Thank you so much. Gift subs for people. Delta gets one, Phantom gets one, Egg with Feelings gets one, the newest girl, Sunny Bauer. Thank you so much. Warming up the stream. You are, man. Am I happy for Alan Wake 2? Jano, I'm so happy to see you. Yes. So, I'll talk about all the non-Rebirth stuff first, because and the non-Square Enix stuff, because believe it or not, all of the Square Enix announcements got me downright emotional. Anybody that knows me knows that my first game, SE game that really transformed me, was Secret of Mana. And so to see Visions of Mana looked really good. The tree, they nailed the tree. And so I had really strong feelings about that. But as far as Alan Wake goes, it was wild. So I was sitting next to Susie and Susie Sphere Hunter, and I mean, I thought that there'd be the contents of the crowd in there was a lot more casual than I expected. By casual, I don't mean casually dressed. I mean most of them were like kind of casual gamers. And so every time Alan Wake would get mentioned, it'd be really quiet, except for like Susie and I screaming. And so like, I know that at home and stuff like that, and among the critical community, among like the people that, you know, have played Alan Wake 2, that was like the best show ever. It won all the awards that I expected it to. Actually, it won one more award than I expected it to. I thought it deserved art direction, but I did not expect it to win art direction, and it won art direction. But narrative, you know, absolutely nailed it with narrative. And then game direction. And I agree. And then Baldur's Gate 3, obviously, you know, kind of deserved the award. You know, the best performance, that was, you know, I still think Ben Starr probably had, you know, one of the most transformative performances of the year, but he did have some stiff competition. Neil Newbon did a fantastic job, and he also, you know, to his credit, what he talked about during his speech, actually, it kind of resonated with me, and actually was talking to Ben Starr, and Ben Starr said the same thing. You know, he said that what Neil did is he created this kind of character that a lot of people who have never felt themselves seen as got to resonate with, and I can definitely see where that, you know, that would impact the hearts and minds of the Academy Award. Ibs, hope you had the bestest time at the TGAs. I did, honestly. There's only one thing on this earth, in and around this earth, on top of this flat earth, because I'm a flat earther now, that would have made it better, and that's if you were there. But sadly, fates have not aligned yet. But soon, one day. Botanical, I feel like the more I watch the trailer, it feels like Air's song version of My Way by Sinatra. Damn. When are you streaming the 16 DLC? Well, so I just got home, and so I haven't started downloading it yet. I will download it at the end of this stream, and then I'll probably play it tomorrow or maybe Monday. Either way, I'll let you know. Okay, Ebs? DLC first, shower later. Yep. I mean, the Rebirth stuff that happened was pretty fantastical. So, you know, something to note, and, you know, I think people that watch the Twitch stream know this too, of the live stream of the Game Awards know this, but as a spectator, I didn't see the trailer. I saw part of the trailer with live vocals over it, you know, and so I didn't hear what was being said. I just saw like stuff, you know, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? You know, like I saw Sid's face, and I saw Vincent's face, and I saw, like, you know, Aerith 2 on a bed, and Zach talking to Marlene, and I looked at the play, and I'm like, they turned that play into Loveless, and then, you know, and then we'll get into that soon. Finny! I did say Sid. Why do you know something? Are you a fan of Sid, Finny? Or what's going on with Finny? How you doing? Labib Zahid 95. What was your favorite part about the TGA other than Rebirth? Yeah, I'll start with the non Rebirth stuff. So I mean, it's really crazy to be there, and like Matthew McConaughey comes on the stage, and Anthony Mackie and Simu Liu and Timothy Chalamet and Zed, you know, like these like actual like kind of and Jordan Peele, and then but being the most starstruck by Alan Wake dancing on the stage. The Champions of Light was flawless, and like the performance was flawless. Everybody danced. It was fantastic. It was Warland Door was perfect there. I mean, everything about that musical performance was great. Unexpected, awesome performance by for Hellblade for Senua's Sacrifice, or whatever part 2 is called, which I'm really looking forward to. The first one was fantastic. Second one, but there's like a lot fire on stage. It was wild. It was really wild. But yeah, very Finney. That performance was one of the best moments of the show. I know. Finney's a fellow Alan Wake Lord. I don't know what are we called. Let's come, Finney. You and I need to spitball a name for our fandom. Wake Levites? No. Hellblade 2 made my head spin. Alan Weebs. Lightning Magna. How dare you? How dare you? It's Finnish people made that game. And did stuff. See, very Finny. That Finny stands for Finnish, in case you didn't know. I just made that up. It's absolutely 100% unfalse, which makes it true. I'm so tired, guys. I'm a early person. I bet you guys didn't know this, but like I'm up very often at 5:30 a.m. And so it like hit midnight and I thought my skin was going to come off. Like that's how, like I thought I was going to go full gremlin. You know what I mean? I know. And so when I made it home to like at 2 a.m., I was like, I am a disgrace to adulthood. What has happened? I'm an adult. This is unbelievable, unfathomable. But we had a great time. It was fun. The lovely, my lovely doctor wife came with me and impressed people. We met the guy that did Dragon Prince, and like there's a bunch of just cool stuff that happened outside of that, like outside of the event. But the actual during the period of the event, I mean, I was surprised at how many good games I wasn't expecting to show up kind of showed up. Like I really, like I'm super excited by the Light No Fire game, the new No Man's Sky game. That looks really high concept and a great title. I like, everything was really good. 16 DLC was really good. It was really good to see that. It was also fun to watch the Game Awards absolutely fumble any attempt at properly tagging any Square Enix related property during their announcement tweets. That was fun. Maybe they get a discount next time for the next trailer, Summer Games Fest, for Final Fantasy 17. Let's see. What else? What was surprisingly good? Monster Hunter was the big reveal, but for some reason I think that the trailer's just a little undercooked. In terms of like what we're gonna look at. The Blade was pretty good. I was pretty stoked about Blade. I honestly expected Elden Ring DLC too. I was excited to see the Ragnarok DLC and that being free. The trailer was underwhelming. Yeah, and you know what? Like for Monster Hunter, you know what? Like that's kind of just like that's okay. I think it's probably still really good. Valhalla DLC is cool and free is dope. I agree. I think it's probably not going to be too big of a deal. Like, it's not that big of a DLC. I mean, it's just creating a roguelike mode. But it was fun to do that. Oh, Sector 6 rating with a party of 9. How does Matt Mercer smell? He smells wonderful. So one question. Sector 6. What does Matt Mercer smell like? G-Funk Jimmy. He ruined your question. He smells like dreams. He smells like dreams, honor, and like a little bit, like just like a ounce of like, I don't know, patchouli. Just like a little bit. He's cool. He's a cool guy. He's super, super friendly. Very generous with his time. I didn't even want to take as much as I did, and he wanted to talk. He's really talkative guy, and I also, if I'm just being completely straightforward with you, I was around a group of people that were so much more influential and powerful in the industry than I am, that people didn't know who I was, so they just assumed I was like, one of the, Illuminati overlords of the gaming industry. It was like that kind of party, like, so, but it was the good kind. Like look, there's this stigma associated with like an Eyes Wide Shut party, but why does there have to be, I mean, we just do what we get. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with all of you, but Sleep Easy was there. It was fun. It was really fun. Also, like, I'm a scion of the Seventh Dawn. Thank you, Jano. I don't deserve that. But no, listen, Sector 6. One of these days, we're gonna find a way to all be together in like the same spot. I don't know. They're sending me over there. Sending you over here. Something's gonna happen, Or like, I don't know, continental drift. You never know, right? But it'll happen eventually, yeah. Chris Judge, apparently he was upset, or people were upset with him. As long as no one dies, eyes would shut until you pass out. The Twilight Mexican, thank you. Oh, continental drift is inevitable. New Pangea, yeah. Neo Pangea, Neo Midgar. So, well, listen, it was fun. Everybody was very, very cool. I'm a huge. One of the most weirdly starstruck moments I had was there was a show that I would talk about constantly on stream here a couple years ago, because I actually felt like it related to Remake a lot and kind of what's happening. And that is Raised by Wolves. And Raised by Wolves was a HBO Max show, and it was sort of it was like a sci-fi show that sort of like incorporated the ideals of directed panspermia and so repopulating a new planet, but it used the Book of Enoch as a framework, and the Book of Enoch, by the way, is like sort of a remake of the Book of Genesis. So anyways, one of the presenters at the awards was Abu Bakr Salim, and he told this really kind of heartwarming story about the passing of his father and how that kind of influenced him in in making this making a game, which he revealed at the Game Awards, and he also played Father in Raised by Wolves, and so like I was actually really starstruck by him more than like Zed and I don't know, Matthew McConaughey. Anthony Mackie, I thought nailed it. He kind of had that. I thought he kind of controlled the crowd better than anybody else. And okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something. During the release, the segment where OD was announced, Overdose, the new Hideo Kojima thing. So every time, like I'm telling you, because I could see it. Like you couldn't see it on the stream, you couldn't see it on the camera. I'm telling you, every time Kojima would like praise Jordan Peele, I would see Jeff Keighley get a little jealous, start wrestling around. That's true love right there. Like he was kind of like, hands off my man. Like for real. But they did hug and that was fine. But like I wish you guys could have seen him. Just like, don't you take my ride or die. His ride or die. Oh my god, I know, dude. I know. I loved it. It was so, but that was a really cool that was magic, cuz I don't know, like I could see enough behind stage that like I don't know how they snuck that building in. It was, I swear they 3D printed it back there. It was crazy. And then, there's all this sleight of hand where like all of a sudden Jordan Peele walks out. Kojima makes shit happen. Yeah, I like the absolute masterwork of not describing what even will happen to us when we engage with that piece of interactive media. Like we don't even know. I mean, it could be all sounds. Like, we have no way of knowing. It could just be, it could be a retinal scan, Jeff would let Kojima talk about literally anything for 45 minutes. He would. What's up, Darth Aces 198? We had some great. We got 90 people here. It's been 25 minutes. I think it's time maybe we start talking about stuff. So, needless to say, Rebirth had a fantastic showing. And I think it might be time even to do that. Let me switch over to the thing. Hold on, guys. We're gonna watch the trailer. Start to finish, then we'll listen to the song, and then we'll look through the blog articles together, and I'm going to explain all of it to you, and it's going to be okay. We're going to do a frame by frame. Okay. Fallout series looks good. Yeah. Okay, we gotta watch it. Look, 1080p. Wait. Oh, this is the. Hold on. Where's the extended? Isn't there a 4K one? Valhalla. Why so many icons? I think Well, I found out, like, I talked to everybody that you've ever known, Lightning Magna. I found out that it upsets you. So that's what I chose to do. Japanese short version is 4K. Alright. Well, we'll look at that later. Okay.
I'm feeling every single bullet.
I'm feeling every single bullet. Now, the Japanese version of this text, just FYI, is pretty different. Lightning Magnet, you're not? Damn, I'm screwed up. Yeah, I mean, probably somebody could fix that pretty easy, guys. I mean, has Blitz already fixed it? I'll do it. I'll do it, guys. Okay. Was super sad we didn't get an Elden Ring DLC. I know. But we got 7 Rebirth and we got 16 DLC. Yeah. So the Japanese translation for this, you think Blitz was doing it last night? I believe that. That seems accurate. Here, let me look it up here. Oh, it's got English audio? Dude. Look. Dude. Why even bother doing anything but asking Sector 6? He already knows. So here's why I don't know, by the way. I've had to glean all of this stuff while being at a giant party and very busy. I like just got home. So bear with me. I've tried to like consume everything in the background, and then plus, you know, like I'm immersed in the culture, so that's why I know what's happening here, but just why I don't know what's happening. You guys know what I mean? No? Me neither. Okay. The translation for this is somewhere. I think, let me find it. Turquoise Hammer, who's like asleep now, I think. So I like what he says. I'm bummed that it's different. Let's see. Let me look up Turquoise Hammer. I've got to do it on the other screen now because he's just decided to, I don't know, have really wild takes that I've got to vet before showing to the public. I usually agree with them, but sometimes they're a little wild, you know. Fucking Turquoise Hammer's first tweet. Okay. All right. So it can, apparently the line can change a little bit based on context, but there are a few versions are. The wind sure was blowing, or I guess that was quite a gust. Come to think of it, certainly was windy. So I think that's the idea of like him not understanding why he survived. Like maybe the bullets were blown away, so it's like kind of like he's confused about why he's alive, because he's recalling a set of events that don't necessarily match his current fate. You know, like so this is Zack trying to reconcile potentially two worlds inside of him, you know. And so the world will be saved, but will you? I mean, this is a great thing to put during this line, you know, the world will be saved, but will you? You know, there's a lot of thematics associated with the word world. So it's good. It's really interesting. But I think the Delta, since the Whispers saved him, they formed tornadoes to work their magic. It feels that way, you know? Like you felt the wind of each bullet as it was so close. Yeah. So the whole stamp bag was the whole time, and it knew it was just windy out. Yeah. Zach better stay saved. Hearts 530. Or what, huh? What are you gonna do about it? No, yeah. Look, I'm here for it. Okay, we'll get there. Okay.
I'm feeling every single bullet.
I'm feeling every single bullet. Okay, here we got straight up Boogie Haggy, Mr. Bugenhagen, who, by the way, appears to be blind. Okay, he's a blind man. Or something. Also, they did not they didn't drop an ounce of detail here with these liver spots, you know? Like, we want you to know Bugenhagen is like actual old. Everyone that's 200 years old is blind. I know, we're really being hard on this guy, but yeah, I don't know if it's lore relevant. You know, like there's a chance. Hi, Charles. Charles has missed me. He was very upset that I left, and he's really made it clear to me that I'm never to do that again. Charles, say hi. No, okay, fine. Passive aggressive.
Manifest once more. Do not underestimate this foe.
Okay, so we're, you know, we didn't get a pronunciation for Cave of the Gi or Cave of the G, Cave of the Guy. What if it's Guy? It's probably Gi. Okay. Gi Cave. Okay, Mr. Vincent himself, like the detail on the materials is really good here, and this is in engine. This isn't pre-rendered. This is in engine, and we're seeing things like this on the buckles. Like this pattern has probably already been broken down by Delta Sin, and I don't know. It's very clearly consistent with other, dirge crucifixes, and I know that Phantom is actually Phantom Valentine has sent me stuff on this. So look, I know Phantom. You know, the thing that I noticed, and I agree with it as a choice, but I was surprised that Vincent didn't have like a long bang coming down here. I mean, it's like it's a little bit now kind of overdone with character design in this game specifically. So there is like the necessity for distinction, but still, I feel like this is like both unmistakably Vincent and like a massive improvement over what we've seen before, including in, Advent Children. So really, really just fantastic design.
Sephiroth. And
of course I talked to the voice, of Vincent Valentine, and he told me the whole story and how how important it was for him to get the role, and Steve Bloom was there, by the way, and they were talking too. That was crazy. It was wild to see that, by the way. So, and they, obviously there's no bad blood, and they're close friends, etc. But he was telling me how much he's really excited to pour his heart into this character, and you know, from what we can tell so far, you know, he has everything. Everything in these cutscenes is vanilla weapons too, like the default weapons, which I'm really curious to see, you know, see what new weapons we get. But I understand cinematically avoiding that outside of like special cutscenes we see later.
What am I supposed to do?
All right. I mean, so this was the big one, okay? So really, Zack's fate, like figuring out how Zack cooperates with the world. We'll get into like my kind of unified theory as to what happened with Zack and where I think this is taking place in the game. Whether it's concurrent, it's results of or what. But you know, the I would say the schools of thought on how Zack is interacting with the world is, well, he's probably just in the live stream, right? That's what a lot of people have kind of pushed, and there's merit to that. Like he's a ghost. You know, this is Bruce Willis stuff. And you know, like, although there has been like indications that perhaps he's legitimately interacting with the world around him in the previous trailers, like in the announcement date trailer, or the release date trailer, like we see him grab Kyrie's hand. There's still like there wasn't concrete acknowledgement from another human being that, from, you know, that we could assume is alive, right? Biggs is still like in a questionable category at this scene, right at where we're at this frame, right? Like, we know that he's supposed to be dead according to the OG. We know that at the end of Remake he's shown alive in a hospital bed and he seemingly survived, and that's confusing and strange. So Zack talking to Biggs indicates that, well, maybe Biggs survived in a continuity that Zack's in. Obviously he did. They're talking. Also, Biggs without the headband, kind of killing it. Right? You know? I mean, killing it a little bit.
Their luck runs out, but mine doesn't.
So here we have Biggs questioning his own fate. He's trying to figure out, like, why did I live? Why did I survive? Right? And in doing so, it shows this. A couple things about this. What is this up here? What is this weird language, right? But here we're seeing that everybody's dead. Wherever Biggs and Zack currently are, let's call it like a Terrier continuity. Death still exists. You can still die. And characters that are not alive in the other continuity are also not alive here. So it's not just a reversal of the fates of existing characters, right? So it's not like if you're dead in the world, you're alive in the afterlife. Right? We're in a world where there are different fates for the characters. You know, like Barrett, like, unless Jesse is alive and Wedge is alive in the Beagleverse, and that the only one that survived is Biggs, this doesn't make sense, really. You know, from the live stream perspective. You know, also, yeah, this is a weird, it's it uses a couple of different languages, by the way, up here. There's a couple of different character sets. So this can be, I think, give me enough time, me and Black Lion Guard will probably have this decoded. This looks like real language. Charles agrees.
Sometimes I don't even know who I am.
Okay, let's go back here. So we're here. Here's Calm. Calm looks great. But let's listen to the dialogue that Biggs has. Right. So, Biggs.
Only one who gets a pass.
I'm the only one that gets a pass. Here's now. This dialogue is super interesting, but I think very easily explained. And this is from.
Sometimes I don't even know who I am. I forget things everyone else remembers just fine, and know things I've got no right knowing.
And know things I've got no right knowing. So that's Cody's voice, and he's killing it. So that's Cloud. And so it's interestingly placed in the trailer because of its proximity to Biggs, who's somebody that's got like unreliable fate. He has he's confused about why he survived. He's also around Zach, who's huge mystery. Let me let Charles out. Charles, you want to go outside? Go out here, okay. He'll be scratching at the door in like less than 5 minutes. Okay. So, but really what we can expect from Cloud is for him to be having an existential crisis pretty much always until the live stream sequence, however that plays out this time. Probably not in Rebirth, but however it plays out in part 3, Cloud's like gonna be existentially confused, right? So this is just a reflection of that. So this is just him sort of explaining earnestly, like becoming aware of the fact that he doesn't know what's going on inside of him. It's very early in the story for him to be having that kind of doubt and voicing it. And whether or not that is significant remains to be seen, but it's potentially fruit of a poisonous tree narratively. Because if all it is like creating a gradient curve to Cloud's awakening or self-awareness, then you're really kind of eliminating the narrative value of the subversion in the first place. Then it's both the known journey and the known destination. If it's got another purpose narratively, if it's not just exposition, if it's Chekhov's gun, then whatever that might feed could be really interesting dramatically. So the fact that during Rebirth, Cloud is actually speaking to the fact he has an inconsistent view of reality. He's being honest about his unreliability as a narrator. Marks a departure from the OG. Perhaps one of the most significant ones. Okay.
Cloud, it's
also, like, this place looks rad, I think we're in based on levels, this feels like Corel area, but it could be Cosmic Canyon too.
my turn.
Is it you, or is it the pooch?
Okay. The voice here sounds super familiar. Are you think Cloud is picking up stuff from Coma Cloud? There with Zach, Marlene, etc. This is a great observation, the Twilight Mexican. Also, welcome in. Twilight Mexican, by the way, has been a member of the, like, TLS forums and Advent Children community and for, like, a long time. There's been a lot of... What's a Chekhov's gun? Chekhov's gun is a narrative tool. It's a... it's sort of a principle that, you know, there can... If any tool is needlessly described, that use of that tool must happen at some point within the story for the story to cohere appropriately. It's like a narrative rule. So Chekhov's gun is specifically talking about a Solemn Gus is voiced by Jonah Scott. Yeah. Jonah Scott. Jonah Scott is super prolific voice actor. Like, look up Jonah Scott, and he's been in some stuff. Aerith also passed knowledge on to Marlene and Likely Cloud. I mean, whatever. We'll see. All right. So yeah, Solemn Gus.
I'm just messing with you. That there is our man.
When fate sets us a challenge, we must rise to meet it.
Okay, look at Dio's muscles here. That's not even 5 minutes, and Charles is at the door. Okay, let me grab him. Come on, Charles. Come on, buddy. Oh, is he running away from the sweater?
I couldn't find the sweater.
Oh, okay. Come on, Charles.
Do you have this?
Yeah, somewhere in here, but do you want to put that on? Okay. Hey, bud. We're gonna put clothing on you. We know that's your favorite. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. That was deeply frustrating. Yeah, I mean, the man is huge. It's like inappropriate. All those muscles, like, what are the, you know, the FF7 world that we all assume is called Gaia but cannot confirm. Yeah, Charles is super bitter with me right now. But whatever that, you know, equivalent world steroids are, I mean, like, we kind of got to test him. It seems unhealthy. Also, look at that handshake. Look how, like, that is an infuriating looking handshake right there. Like, okay, I just want you, like, he's just gonna break his fingers. Like, it's not palm to palm. It is like, God, have you ever had a handshake like that? And you're like, what just happened to my hand? Tiny baby Claude? Yeah. Okay, we're getting the voice of Ketchi. Okay, I do want to say this. So, I had several people call him Ketchi. And I was surprised that they, in particular, called him Ketchi. So, I'm wondering what's going to happen when the game comes out. Okay. Instead of Kate Sith, I mean, okay. Here we got it. We got Very Finney's husband has been revealed to the world. Okay, so let's listen.
Is there anything I can do for you? I want to help.
Okay, is there anything I can do for you? I want to help. Okay, so if anybody's familiar with this character, you know that that's not a thing that he would ever say in a million years. Seriously. However, ironically, sarcastically, 100%. I think that this is out of context, him being like mocking. You know? Some people have noticed that he is less inclined to engage in, you know, the smoking of the nicotine and the cigarettes, etc. I've noticed that. I don't know if that's going to be the case altogether. I mean, the ESRB ratings involved him, but like just the design I thought was perfect. I think this is the best Sid by far. And we'll look at the you know, concept art, high def concept art. The materials in this game are just really, really good. Like the coat materials look really good. I mean, like the patch, all that stuff. Just this is really like amplifying the visual fidelity of the Final Fantasy VII universe to a really impressive degree. Like, I mean, just, you know, lighting reflection and stuff like that on the goggles, and that doesn't look like ray trace. That looks like rendered. I mean, like they really did not fuck around with Sid. And people are like, oh, he looks, you know, he looks his age. He looks 32. I don't know about that.
I can do for you.
But he looks great. Okay. So we've got some summons. Okay. These are summons, and I know that the press site has some of these too. But we've got Titan. We've got Phoenix. So we've got like a lot of our Final Fantasy 16 icons out of the way. You'll notice Phoenix is, if you see that ship right there, that derelict ship, and then the Junin cannon. So we probably get Phoenix exactly where you think we get Phoenix. You know? That's right. Fort Condor. But yeah, we got Titan. Titan has all the jewelry you would expect from somebody that is a former Cetra. I love Phoenix's design a lot. Here we've got a new Bahamut. Bahamut Arisen. And we'll look at that in the thing. Also, hi Sleepeasy. Hello. Hi. He looks too young. Arisen, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at all this stuff. He's like just shooting lasers all over the place. This is like Giga Flare and Zeta Flare. What if we got like a mini Bahamut and it was like Micro Flare? Like, what if we started going down? Like Nano Flare. Let's do Nano Flare. Let's get like Pocket Bahamut. You know, Bahamite. Ours nails it in one. Hello. Subtext. Hi. How are you? Hey, did you notice that there's Rebirth news within the last couple of days? Subtext. I missed you too, buddy. Femto Flare. Yeah, exactly, Cap Time. Was there? And he sits on Ket Shi. I'm telling you, a bunch of people called him Ket Shi. You were in the bathroom. Wait, I heard about this, by the way. I heard about this from the mouth of Sleepeasy. Pedo Flare for the thirsty ones. House Cat Alex, thank you for bringing that energy to this. Like, that's really the exact vibe of the stream. Thank you.
Look at me, Barrett.
Look at me. Look at me. There's Joker, you know, elements in that performance right there.
You think I want Marlene to see what her father
Brothers become.
Okay. I just feel like the problem with this line is that, like, it really undersells Marlene's tolerance. Like, I mean, he's got a scar, but it's kind of a cool scar, you know? Like, I mean, you know, come on. Yeah, the face is pretty intense.
Promise not.
Speaking of Marlene, so, okay, back to, like, when we were talking about how Zach's definitely for sure alive. Here's part of why we know that whatever Zach's continuity is, however it's conceptualized, it's not comprised of, like, the dead. It's comprised of an alternate set of characters with similar experiences. And the composition of this room is, it's in Midgar, it's in Aerith's house, and it's the same except for a flower vase. And I haven't made a post about that yet, and I probably somebody noted it, probably Delta, except the flower vase is missing. Yeah, fucking Delta. I don't mean that in a bad way. I can rely on you to notice details like that.
Not to tell. When she wakes up.
You just notice Cloud doesn't have his shoulder pad too. He has both of his shoulder pads. So Cloud here has not wandered emaciated for weeks on end and somehow lost one of his pauldrons and converted one of his pauldrons into, like, the shitty version of a pauldron he has, and also got an armband. The series of events necessary to facilitate that involves him Genova wandering through Midgar. That's not happening now because he's got Zachariah Fair, you know, bathing him and cleaning him and making sure that his suit's super tight and snug. Okay, we're talking to Marlene. What does Marlene say?
Not to tell. When she wakes up, a scary man is gonna kill her.
When she wakes up, a scary man is going to kill her. Who could that be? I wonder. So this connects heavily to kind of like, we know that Marlene's got some kind of intuitive sauce. It could, and it hasn't been explained clearly. You could make a lot of assertions. I've had people tell me, as if it were confirmed, that it's because children are closer to the live stream somehow. No, that's just an assumption you can make. It's not like a bad one. Sure, you could like assign properties to the world that I've never been assigned before, and then just be like, oh yeah, makes sense. You know, and a lot of us do that regularly to make sense of stories that are incomplete, you know, or not this, or gaps in storytelling, because all stories lack the explanative power to like really describe every detail. Like it's not like reality. Okay. But we saw the situation with Aerith and Marlene that is still one of the big questions. Like, what the fuck happened when Aerith hugs Marlene in Seventh Heaven? And she gets that little flash and she's like, what happened here? This seems to be related to that. So does this mean that in this continuity, Aerith touched her and the same thing happened? Is the diversion point after that? Is that the divergent point for Terrierverse? Is something that happens after Aerith hugs Marlene in this? Or is something else happening? Right? But Aerith astral projected and spoke to Cloud in a remake from live stream. So could she manifest across timelines? That's a possibility too. So I think that's possibly why Sid is behaving how he is in that scene. If he isn't sarcastic, some sort of Aerith memory transference. Like she just pacifies Sid the same way that she pacified Red 13. She's just like, no, Sid, you're like no longer toxic. There you go. Yeah. And now go, like, the first thing Sid does after Aerith touches her and goes, like, apologize to Shara. Finny, are you still here? What would you do if that happened? Okay, it's extra weird because it implies somehow met Marlene and Avalanche without Cloud being there, and that's a whole other story. His whole toxic arc is gone. Wait, repeat the... So, Sector 6 brought up an idea that what if the reason Sid, Highwind, in this trailer is polite to Aerith is because Aerith, like, memory transfers, like, a bunch of, I don't know, kindness into him, and so he's nice to her the same way that when she touched Red 13 was no longer like trying to like get all murdery. What if like Aerith, by touching and doing memory transference, like detoxified Sid? That's why he doesn't smoke anymore. He's like super nice to Shara. He makes her the tea. The answer is no. You don't like that? Why? Why don't you like that, Vinny? I'm just kidding. I know. It's because it's boring. Okay, listen. She's done it twice before, and in the blog it notes, we read that she's ferrying the party about like a taxi. Yeah, like she's leading the party. You know, like, hey, there has to be a reason why he's doing that. I mean, look, I agree. Then his whole arc is gone. Yeah. Oh, Sid is leading the party around. Okay, yeah. Oh, man, so do you think he's got, like, a... What if he's, like, turned heel? Also, I think we're seeing a lot of very out-of-context moment when he's talking to Aerith in the trailer. I think he's being sarcastic. That was the tone I picked up. I think the reason is because two have virtually no extensive time together in OG, especially if you don't have them party together. So Aerith will be like, I want to go on an airship, and he'll promise to take her. Then when she dies, he'll flip out about not being able to keep the promise he made to her despite only knowing her for so long. That's so good, J Dow. That's it right there. He's just really happy that she's a flight enthusiast. Like, Sid probably goes to like Cloud and he's like not interested, and Barrett's like, I don't know about flying, or you know, like Red 13's like, what is this, you know, space wizardry, and everybody's like not giving him the credit he so, you know, clearly deserves. But like just only Aerith is like, I want to fly, and she's like, yeah. He's like, there it is. Sid Aerith. What's the Highborough. Okay, none of this stuff is serious, but Sid wants to go on a gold saucer date with Aerith. Okay, all right. Tied to a faulty oxygen tank. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go. So here's the new theme song. It's called No Promises to Keep. And what are your thoughts on the song? Don't worry about who that is. Don't worry about that. We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. So song's good. Song is very What about Shinra making her go to the Temple of the Ancients and Sid feels really bad for her? Yeah, that could be it. I hope it's sarcasm, personally. I want him to be, like, insufferably unkind. Just so... Yeah. What could we do? Not my Sid if he doesn't smoke. What if he vapes? How would you feel if he just vapes? Lauren Allred is amazing. Yeah, she did a great job. I didn't know what was going on. 'Cause yeah, like he said Nobuo when Keeley said Nobuo Uematsu, I'm like, whoa, what? And then we realized it was probably something was happening. And then they went on to Apex Legends. So No Promises to Keep is an interesting title. So yeah, I think there's probably a lot to say about the lyrics. You know, and I haven't really... It talks about fate. I won't say that it was fate. Okay. Which is... I won't say that. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't. But I'm not saying... I'm making a choice not to... So we're already like juxtaposing agency to fate. Which is like a really core principle of the FF7 narrative. A really... Like OG and this. Okay, we got these rad outfits here. Okay, we've got Barrett dressed as Golbez, from FF4. We've got Indigo 14 right here. We've got Ketchi the Jester. And then we've got Prince Cloud. Okay. I won't say that it was destiny. Okay. Okay, so there's this. So this happened, right? Okay. You guys know. you guys know I don't have a stake in the shipping game, right? Right, Finny? You know, I don't know what's going on here, right? But like, I'm gonna say this. I was like, oh, better not ever go on Twitter again when I saw this frame, because it was, except for Valen. Well, obviously. So yeah, there is this thing here, and you know, I'll be honest, like. This is not something major to hang a hat on, really. Like, I mean, if I were to, and again, it could be full Clarith if, you know, if that's what the developers wanted to just totally like change it and make it that. I just want them to do what they want. However, to be, I think, the most reasonable, it looks like what's happened here is that Aerith has tripped and fallen into Cloud's. I think once we see the full thing, Aerith kind of tripped and fell, and then there was this moment. This moment, I think, will probably convey a different feeling without music. That's just my opinion. I don't actually, again, please know. I have no stake in this, and I think it is only coming from like this is how I observe the scene. So, I don't care. Yeah. It's exactly what would have happened. The OG, it seems. Irrational people are just losing their minds because they're rational. Well, yeah, bro. Yeah. You're here. You've been here. You know, we're in this together. It's insane. You know? But okay, so I don't. I think there's some irony here because a lot of people are using terms like to describe narrative tricks like red herrings, you know, for things that are Chekhov's gun. Like, so stuff that's going on with Zach, that is not, I don't think that's red herring territory anymore. And I think they're doing everything they can to just be like, let's push you away from red herring. Let's explore all other possibilities. But the thing that's not is red herring. That is Chekhov's gun. The gun is going to fire at some point. This is a red herring. This is what I think. I think this stuff that we're seeing, like we're getting these focuses on you know, flashy bits of color and things that generate a little bit of shock to distract us. That's a literal red herring. Like, that's the actual kind of red herring. And narratively, this makes sense as a red herring, but the red herring group of people, which that's fine. Believe what you want. Red herring gang people are generally really upset by this scene. The people that are like, Zach's a red herring, you know, Claudie forever, red herring. Bio-Roxas, holy shit, is here. You're here. So I think that, ironically, by the way, so Bio-Roxas, please follow Bio-Roxas, great guy, etc. Yeah. The human being, yeah, biological Roxas, not to be confused with data-logical Roxas, or inorganic Roxas. But listen. So this scene right here, rustled some jimmies in the exact way that you would rustle jimmies with a real red herring. So yeah, Charles, where'd you go, buddy? Come here, my man. Come here. Say hi to Bio-Roxas for me. Say hi. Hi. So, yeah, the point I'm making is the real red herring is this. And then, like, the stuff the red herring gang is calling red herrings is actually consequential to the plot and ironically Chekhov's gun instead. Okay, so that's all we'll say on this. But like, let's look at these outfits. Okay, so the cool thing about these outfits is we haven't seen them before at all. Like, they weren't teased in Ever Crisis, now available on Steam, you know. Excuse me. Okay, let's look at some pendants here. Like, look at that. Look at that dragon icon. I would not be surprised if something involving this gets us Bahamut Arisen. Just calling it right now. Okay, let's look back here. Okay, so we're in... I mean, like, I have some feelings about this. This is Ever Crisis skin. It's similar, but it's different. It's not the same skin. You know what's weird is that crown. The crown on Aerith here. This crown, we've seen it somewhere else before. And I'm gonna... I spotted it, and I'm gonna... It'll be in the video. Yeah, the Statue of Liberty. That's obviously... Okay, so I have some feelings about this, right? This... God damn it. I can't touch the keyboard because Charles is Charlesing. Listen. So I love the aesthetic still. We're in, you know, the coffin vault. It feels weird that in this coffin vault, like if it were just the chair, the weird document manuscript thing, you know, this coffee cup, this lantern, I'd be fine with that. Like, oh, hey, maybe somebody came and hung out weirdly by Vincent's crypt. That's fine, I guess. Whatever. It's the convenience thing of this that bugs the hell out of me. So we've got essentially the Final Fantasy version of the save point in this room, busting up, you know, immersion. So we know that potions, you know, the potion vending machine is a you know, comes from Remake, and it's basically like it sells you items, etc. We know that the bookstore thing is a not quite yet fully explained proto relic type shenanigan stuff. I don't want to get too far into that. I know that Sleepy's actually broken this down a little bit, and he's working on that video right now. But like they're like 2 active machines that are like presumably connected to the cloud, and somebody comes and collects the Jill that you dump in there. You know, like they're probably connected to Wi-Fi. And then there's a bench here. It's my only little gripe with this fucking thing. But we get to see you know, the full body here of Vincent Valentine. But if not, what could it be? Okay, we'll look at the lyrics of this song. Yeah, I wonder who can lip sync this for us. Also, look at this sweet, like, this is such a cool, like, thing on Bugenhagen's, like, it's like a 90s tattoo made out of Halloween ink. I love it. Okay, so here we're seeing the Nibelheim. We're seeing the incident. We got the double pauldrons. We're getting the detail. Like, all of the materials are better. Look at, like, the intricacies on... Like, I saw this in the key art and the renders and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, that's just cool that they're doing that. But for it to actually show up in the game in engine... Like, we don't deserve that. We're entitled. This is so much work. Holy shit, guys. Okay. So this is Rebirth's iconic Sephiroth with the flames behind him. They didn't just reuse AC like they did in Ever Crisis and like everything else. This is it. This is the new one. There he is, basking in the destruction. Okay, all right. So there's this, right? So we got Aerith clinging to Cloud in one of the date scenes, and we'll go over the date scene thing soon. Okay. Alright, also Aerith singing. Because whatever, right? Right? Like, why not? Big univibes. Yeah, there's univibes here. She looks different. Well, this is a VR of Ifalna who can sing. Okay, guys. No, she doesn't have the... Where is the white materia during this? Huh? Let's talk about that. How can she put her hair down? What's going on? What if there's a whole subplot about somebody stealing the white materia? Popo de Poto! No! 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 G-Funk Jimmy just doubles down. Come on! Chadley stole it. She would never intentionally take it out. She used it up on the portal. She ate it in order to gain its power. In her bag, what? Listen. Listen, we all know it's a yoni egg. You guys are just... God. God. No, I'm not here to shame. Okay, but look at this. Alright, we got yellow flowers. I hear those are significant to the plot of Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Can we agree on that? Dude, you see all those yellow flowers yellow flowering? Look at this. We gotta follow that shit. Okay. See, this is that kind of that edge that we want from Sidster. You got hay fever? I'm sorry, brother. Peter Vickers, to be honest, you're right. She ate the materia. Best guess. Agreed. Thank you, Peter. Yes. Yes. Correct. It was delicious. Tastes like chicken. Okay. I love the weird little pattern too, like the little maze here. Okay. All right. Where are we here? I mean, like, where is this? I mean, it could be Rocket Town, or near Rocket Town, but it's like, this is the kind of stuff. Like, so there's going to be a bunch of like kind of new airfields, I feel like. It feels medieval-ish. I mean, the problem is just like you have green and then rocks and then like there's nothing super distinct about the architecture here. So it could be medieval. Like, you know? There's a tower in the background. Yeah. It shouldn't be medieval, but subtext actually made this been one of the most visceral hype motions. The music crescendo alongside one was great. Yuffie excited. Sid is being badass. Yeah, no, that's true. Okay, so we like that was an out of context shot, but theoretically Yuffie should be losing her mind from flying and getting motion sickness. Probably like the next scene involves projectile vomit. Also, let's look at the fingernails here. I mean, this is consistent with like a man who cannot clip his fingernails because the other hand is a gun. You know, and he's like, I think that's, I mean, I think that's, they didn't have to do that, but they did. You know, it's like unique to his hands. I wonder what he's saying here, but he's trying to like, you know, hey, it's okay, buddy. I can't quit you. If anybody caught that, don't ratio me. Okay, so but believe. All right, so we've got Tifa, who's been a little, like maybe not shown a lot in this trailer, and you know, that doesn't mean she's not going to be big in the game. It's still really hard to make Cloud's hair work with his clothes. So there's maybe just like a... but see, what like clipping stuff like this tells us, this is in engine. You know, like this. That's how good this game looks rendered. You know. Okay, so this is wild, right? I mean, this is just so wild. And she kind of looks different here too, like a lot of people have pointed out. Like, you know, the outfit here is interesting, and then it's hard to say where the white materia is in the shot. Okay, so we've got this. This is quite the scene. And this is the scene that, like, really holy shit. For a couple reasons, right? So this is the scene, right? This is, I mean, spoiler alert, in the original game, this is where Aerith dies. This is where she's killed. And, you know, it's like kind of a transcendently beautiful setting. There's some things about this that look interesting off the top. Like, you can see that see this kind of coral in the background. So it sounds like having a 3-dimensional view of this space is going to change some of the feel and composition of the altar, so to speak. But also, notice this right here. Let's just do the frame by framesies. Veggie straws. Yeah, that would be our fine feathered friend, the Whisper. Just chilling in the background, doing Dementor shit. And then this feather. And then looking directly at you. Okay? So, whispers are here. But why? So there's a ton of strangeness about the scene that... I mean, so the design of this is to let us know, hey, do you know if this happens or not? Right? So the camera does begin to pan upward, or is that an effect of the screen quickly fading to black? No, it starts to pan upward, right? Look. So now we can see the top of her head. So now there's this layer of disrepute involved. Now we've got like, it's no longer red herring stuff at this point. It's One Winged Angel stuff, right? So we don't know, like, we're kind of thinking Sephiroth's in control of the Whispers. Yeah, it also, the shot's beautiful, right? And I think a lot of people, I think, no matter what they choose to do with Aerith here, they have to show this scene. Whether she makes it through or not, like, I think they even have to show her die in the scene. Whether that means that she survives or not, that's the thing that's been ultimately called into question. You know, and it was hard to, like, divine any kind of intention or expression or, like, motive behind her face in the OG, because it was, you know, polygons. I think that it was extremely bold. This was posted on front page of all Square Enix posts. Yeah, social's very deliberate. Yeah, and it said what is fact and what is fiction, and it showed a picture of the OG death, and then this, and then I mean, is it a multiple choice? As Kiki Punchy said, like what is happening? It was really interestingly described. Technically, it's all fiction. Gene's right. So yeah, sadly, and I have mentioned this before, this isn't real. But within the confines of the world, it was funny to say that. So hats off to Sunil for making that post. It was solid. It was a solid post.
Please, I'm begging you. Lend me your strength.
Okay, now let's listen to the actual song. Oh man, no. Is there an official one?
Dreamcast guy here.
Ah.
Today about the Game Awards 2020.
Did it suck? No. Okay. Is there one with just the theme song that's official?
I'm feeling every...
I like legit don't know. No promises to keep. Okay. Oh, you mean just the live one? I mean, I guess we can check that out. I was here, losing my mind. We won't ever need. Okay. Promises to keep. We want to wait. Bro. Dude. The Game Awards has been really having fun with disrespecting the shit out of Final Fantasy and Square Enix with their like treatment. All right, somebody give me the lyrics. Is it in the theme song trailer? Okay, we're good. All right. God. Okay. I won't say that it was fate. I won't say that it was destiny. Also, again, do you guys like the song? It sounds very reminiscent of other Nobuo Uematsu like ballads. So like if you really like, you know, Sutekida Ne and Eyes on Me, you know, I feel like you're going to like this. And Melodies of Life, yeah. So this is that kind of song. Beat goes hard. Subtext. The beat goes hard. Is that what you said? Okay. So let's press play. I won't say there was destiny. But if not, what could it be? So if it's not fate, it's not destiny, what could it be? So then why am I drawn to you? If there's no fate or no destiny, what's drawing me to you? Let's see. Potential answers. Pheromones. Like the fact that everybody in this universe that isn't over 35 FF5 looks like a model. Okay, so there's that. That's a possibility. Genova, the weird alien that is trying to enact its will. Sephiroth using Genova. Okay. So, okay, we're operationalizing chaos. Could it be chance? Is chance... How is chance distinct from destiny and fate? And, you know, it depends on your worldview, but within the confines of the song, what we're saying is that, you know, things just happen, right? So it's, yeah. Till the day. Till the day that we meet again. Okay, so now we're talking about like a farewell. So now the tone of the song feels like a farewell. And so like, if we're trying to figure out who the POV character is, I mean, like, it might this time be a little bit more clear. If you recall with Hollow, if you were to like, let's say, ask what that song is about and whose perspective it's from, you will die on Twitter. There was an article that it was Aerith's POV. Well, yeah, Aerith is singing it. So yeah. Tenyo, hello. So anyways, Hollow was vague. This one, Aerith singing the song. So we get this really solid indication that she's the POV character for this. So that we meet again. So again, what we're looking at is something that feels like hollow and solid. Yeah, that should be part 3's theme song. Is like full. Yeah. Filled. Okay. Alright. We're done with that. That's weird. Charles didn't like that. I agree. It was weird. Okay. So, that we meet again. So now we're shifting into language that's like farewellish. Right? So we're playing into this hard. Like, we're seeing like you can save her. We're seeing like Zack being in this other rewritten universe that maybe has this chance to save stuff, you know, and you know Marlene, who's, you know, been gifted with the glow of the ancients or whatever, is saying, hey, don't wake her up, etc., because the bad man's gonna kill her. Like, there's that, but then there's also the song's lyrics, which are, and the fact that Aerith is basically the star of this trailer, that do frame it as sort of a farewell. And so they're doing this masterfully, right? They're doing everything that they can to really make us understand that regardless of the crux of Final Fantasy's overarching plot, Final Fantasy VII's overarching plot, which is Cloud's journey, perhaps the crux of this one might come down to this. Okay? Where or when? Where or when? So remember when in Remake, when Zack in the white space walks by, and then we get this representation of Aerith walking by, and the devs were asked about that in the Ultimania, and they said that they didn't see each other because they were in a different time and place. And the two questions associated with time and place are where or when. I wish I could say. But have faith, believe that Charles is going to interrupt the stream. Come here, bud. Come here right now. Alright. Anyways. Hi, guys. I muted my mic when I picked up... Oh, yeah, I noticed that. Charles. Okay, but believe. But believe. Know that you'll find me. So who's this to now? Promises to keep. We won't ever need.
Please, I'm begging you. Lend me your strength.
So we won't ever need promises to keep. Oh, you just realized I was streaming? It's late for you. I know that. And I'll be back and we'll talk about it more. And it's stuff that I do want to give a special thanks. Like the amount of communication that I've received while I was like pretty busy with other stuff is really high. And so like I did have to like filter out a lot of different communications. So if you communicated with me and haven't responded yet, don't take it personally. But like I did stay in touch with like a group of people that I knew would be like particularly informative, and Odie was one of them, Turk was one of them, Slip Easy was one of them too. Subtext, Ryan, all those people they love. Charles, come here. Where are you going, bud? Don't think you can get away from me. All you wanted was my love. Now that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting, little buddy. Charles missed me because I was gone. I could not take Charles to the Game Awards because they didn't want his kind of negative energy, you know? He's here criticizing the music. I had to mute the mic because he was criticizing the song. You know, he's like, so 2001, it's like really dated, you know, a little derivative, uninspired, you know? Who does Charles ship? Charles, okay, so Charles is a Kled 13 shipper. But you'd be surprised at who the Kla is, okay? It's not somebody from Final Fantasy VII. It's Clive. So Clive 13, yeah. Cloud's mom, Claudia. Oh man, I should have said that. I mean, Charles should have said that. Like, the lyrics are not really Aerith, it's lyrics for the play. Okay, so that's another thing, and we'll get into that now. So the play is Loveless, which yeah. Holy shit, it's Loveless, right? So, is it prophetic? It probably is. It's probably super important. We can't really tell what it's about. We know who the characters in it are, though, and it's hard. They have their work cut out for them merging those two properties, right? Because one is like basically Cinderella, and then the other is Loveless, which is a puzzle wrapped in an enigma, rewritten through like early beta versions of ChatGPT. Like that is like that's what Loveless is. So Loveless, yes. All right, so let's look at articles then. Okay, let's look at the articles. We'll go first with the Square Enix one, the blog. Let's do my boy Duncan. I do want to I want to check out the Visions of Mana one too. Okay, I'll do that off stream because you guys aren't old like me, and you don't know how awesome that it is that game is, and how it feels like a return to Seiken Densetsu. It's a yeah. I was not a fan of Trials or any of the Mana games other than Secret, to be honest, and so like this feels like a return. Anyways, Duncan Ace McDunk posted this article Thursday, December 7th, 2023 at 6:45 p.m. whatever time zone this article was posted in, probably Pacific. We're back with a new preview of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and this time it's as much a treat for your ears as it is the eyes. Firstly, we're excited to reveal our brand new trailer, which debuted at the Game Awards 2023 alongside a dazzling live performance by featured vocalist Lauren Allred. And Lauren was... I got to say hi to Lauren too at the thing, and she's absolutely lovely. Very, very nice. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't familiar with her. I did look her up, and I apparently a lot of people know who she is, so I'm good. Delta's 24? Delta Sin, you're 24. You're lying to me. My brain can't handle that. I don't know. No. There's no way. I don't know why that surprised me. Odie, Turk, are you in here? Did you hear that? 24 years old. I thought you were in your mid to late 90s minimum, Delta. You're an old soul. Turk is asleep, I know. I'm surprised you're not asleep. Actually, no, I'm not. But I'm definitely not surprised that Turk is asleep. Turk is like me, but on your coast. Gene, cool. Okay, Lauren Allred. Yeah, she did great. Okay, so the new song titled No Promises to Keep was written by legendary Nobuo Uematsu, the composer for the original FF7. It's performed by Lauren Allred, the renowned platinum-selling artist who captivated with her single Never Enough from The Greatest Showman. Oh, buddy, are you okay? Charles lost his balance. I haven't heard that song yet. I'll check it out. Is it good? Do you guys know it? Have you heard it? Had you heard it before? Yerk. Yerk is an adult who maintains healthy habits. Yerk does. He's got calves that are like, yeah. It's very good. KG Barrett. Okay, I'll check it out. I can't check it out on stream. I'm familiar with The Greatest Showman. Okay. The trailer features lots of new details about the game, including the first appearance of the courageous pilot Sid Highwind, a proper look at Vincent Valentine, and the return of beloved characters Marlene and Biggs. The return of them. It's a whirlwind tour, so let's slow things down a little and take a closer look at some of these reveals. Charles, do you want to go outside before I take a look at these reveals? Charles? Okay. He hasn't decided yet. He's going to wait for an inopportune time. Charles wants a dedicated stream. I'm going to just put Charles on in front of the camera for like 9 hours. See what happens. Just Charles stream. Schrodinger's Charles' seal. I'm tired, guys. Oh, he's going for the door. He didn't like that. Come on, bud. Come on. Come on, Charles. Come on. Charles Stavicus, welcome in. Was he named Charles because he's in charge? I mean, I ain't saying no. Okay. Regions of the world. The world of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is comprised of multiple regions, each boasting unique environments for you to explore and experience on your adventure. Let's take a look at a couple. So, this is an awesome shot of the gold saucer. Okay, we've got them, right? We've got Speed Square, Battle Square, Chocobo Square. Look how they nailed Chocobo Square. They nailed all of these so hard. This is awesome. Referred to as the Gilded Paradise, the Gold Saucer is a resplendent amusement park on an epic scale. It is divided into 7 areas called squares, each with their own unique attraction. One such is the Sky Wheel, which takes guests high above the saucer for an unforgettable view of the park, and has been proven to be a popular date spot. So, okay, catch that? So, Sky Wheel is a date spot. What if there were other date spots at the Gold Saucer? Cammy Delamood, I'm having a blast getting a little tipsy. Hey, go for it. Corel Prison. The structure that the Gold Saucer is built upon is really, it's so the Gold Saucer already has this look of being akin to Yggdrasil, the world tree in Norse mythology. And these look like roots. The Yggdrasil 2 is made of a white ash. Like the world tree is made of a white ashen substance. So this really lends itself to like the aesthetic of Yggdrasil, and gold saucer being the world tree from Norse mythology. And trees of life and death are prevalent mythological themes in Final Fantasy VII. Sephiroth himself is named after the Sephirotic tree of life, which is in Kabbalah, sort of the structure, the emanations of Ein Sof. Okay. A sprawling slum that infests the base of Gold Saucer. It's almost as if the saucer's glimmering facade acts as a beacon for vagabonds and ne'er-do-wells the world over, as they have flocked there in droves. So dangerous is the Dust Bowl. Corel's prison slightly kinders sobriquet that those who enter its limits are said to never return. So the Dust Bowl referring to the, sobriquet. New characters. Now let's introduce some of the new faces you'll encounter in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Vincent Valentine. Voice actor Matthew Mercer. Looking at the concept art, the plating, really cool. Perfect. Also, not enough belts. But from what I can tell, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe there's arm belts. I know those wouldn't be called arm belts, but they are, because they're belts that are just around his arm. Okay. There's maybe even more. Shoot. Okay, alright. Rebirth. Okay, and then also, these are belts. These are face belts. And then we've got the shoulder belt. Okay. Self-proclaimed security guard who hibernates in a coffin deep below Shinra Manor. This man of mystery is swathed in a red cape and boasts the genes of a monster, as well as a hidden connection to Sephiroth. Okay. This is the color red herring. Because people would be like, oh, Seph Daddy? No. But that's not the connection. Unless they're retconning it. Which, whatever, at this point. Okay, so self-proclaimed security guard. Security guard is interesting, right? It's a very interesting way of describing that. And, you know, some people have read that and like, oh, does that mean a boss fight? That'd be cool. I want a boss fight. I want to fight him first, you know, before he joins my party in whatever weird limited capacity that he does. You know, as a support character. Sid Highwind. Let's click on this. Alright. We got boots. We got cargo pants. We've got like one belt, but like two buttons. Right? It was like he wanted to do it, you know? It was probably like Roberto Ferrari was like, okay, let's split the difference. Okay? I gave you so many belts to use on Vincent. Can we just like tone it back a little bit? But like he's got snaps on the pants, you know, to keep the cuffs tight, you know? Material qualities through the roof on this coat. I like the denim looking coat instead of like this, like a shiny bomber jacket. I like it a lot. I think it's really good. His face too, he looks like super, like his face looks kind of like he's a jerk, you know. Voice actors J. Michael Tatum, who's actually also in a lot of stuff. So we're not getting like a rookie and we're not getting a CW guy. You know, but it works. The rogue pilot of reputable skill runs a shuttle service out of various abandoned airstrips. After Cloud and company flag him down, he flies them around the globe in his beloved tiny Bronco. So at first, this feels like a supreme reduction of the character, right? So it's as if Sid is now just your shuttle service. Like Sid is an NPC, and does that mean that we don't get any of his character arc, right? Because where's Rocket Town? Do we even get Rocket Town? You know, these are really interesting kind is it that they've kicked the can down the road on his development so that we get his kind of go to space arc in part 3? You know? Chances are good. Dine. Voice actor Dave B. Mitchell. Dine was once Barrett's closest friend back when the two used to make their living in the coal mines of Corel. Now he is a wanted man with a gun grafted to his left arm. His current whereabouts are unknown. I mean, they're known right now because we're looking at a picture of him in the Corel prison. Dio. Voice actor Ian James Corlett. Which, big mistake on their part. I offered, they weren't interested. The charismatic owner of the Gold Saucer. Famous for brawny physique and handlebar mustache, Dio is often found participating in the park's parades, flexing his muscles before throngs of screaming guests. Dr. Sheeran. Okay. Lloyd Sher. So Lloyd Sher is through his clinic, though his clinic in North Corel may be small, so that's consistent with current lore. You know, that's what's described. North Corel may be small. Dr. Sheeran's heart and intellect are anything but. So he's got a big heart. So he cares about, like, seemingly the robed clones. Okay. Lately has been caring for black-robed figures that have been stumbled into town and is attempting to uncover the truth behind their mysterious illness. So this is going to be an interesting, like, expository function to, like, reveal elements of how Sephiroth and Genova has influenced these clones, and it'll give us more, like, mechanics of how it's all flowing together. Solemn Gus. Jonah Scott, sleazy kingpin of Corel Prison. Gus is as flamboyant as he is smooth talking, and to that a healthy dose of showmanship. It's a little wonder that the dregs of the Dust Bowl have flocked to him. So that's, you know, I mean, he's kind of a built character with a bunch of new flair. And Jonah Scott is, you know, kind of a big deal in the VA world. Biggs. Okay, like, come on. Look at this guy. It's unreasonable. Wait, you're thinking of the Midgard Doctor Phantom? Oh, what are we talking about? Okay. So, yeah, he didn't seem that way in the novel in Traces of Two Paths. So there's doctors in the novel that are not good. But this is North Corel. So you're thinking of Rakesh's mother, Phantom, right? The one that extorts Tifa? That's Biggs with 1G. Block is a typo. Yeah. Yeah, dude, this guy's all G. There should be 4 Gs here, dude. 5G. This is 5G Biggs right here. Look at him. Dude. Look at him. That headband was destroying his aesthetic. Now look at him. They should have taken that thing off of him so long ago. Okay. After surviving the fall of Sector 7 plate, Biggs awoke to find that he is the last remaining member of the ill-fated anti-Shinra rebels, Avalanche. Having recovered from his injuries, he now seeks revenge against the company that murdered his comrades. Combat. Synergy attacks. Cloud and Aerith. Firework Blade. Alright. Cloud uses Aerith's magic to unleash a ranged attack. Tifa, Ketchi. Moogle, Dunk Shot. Okay? And Max described this colorfully in his description of it. So I'm gonna be less colorful and just say that Tifa swings Ketchi's Moogle around and launches it at an enemy. Summons. Okay, here we got some summons. Alright. So we got Titan. A conjure deity who will fall and fight your enemies automatically, but you can also instruct them to use special abilities. Before they depart the battle, summons will unleash one final attack. Okay, a titanic colossus whose arms of solid stone can rend earth and your enemies asunder. And we've got these bracelets, the sweet necklace. But he's got a little bit more form to his face. And he's got quite the underbite. Which he had before. Like, it's surprisingly, like, just exactly like a super good version. Like, Rocky Titanic version. Like, Rebirth version of Titan. Titan excels at both powerful melee strikes and area of effect attacks, such as Boulder Hurl. Upon leaving the battlefield, Titan unleashes Earth and Fury, calling forth giant pillars of rock deep within the earth. The imposing magic attack harnesses the power of nature to cleave your enemy's resolve. Bahamut Arisen. Rad. A massive dragon covered in resplendent red scales. This is -1. Okay? This is Bahamut -1. I know that was... Or no, this is Space from Godzilla X King Kong. Okay. Massive dragon covered in resplendent red scales. It cuts off any possible escape routes with its lightning quick speed and decimates its enemies with both sharp claws and a veritable arsenal of weaponry. Bahamut Arisen excels at attacking in rapid succession, but can also obliterate foes with charged magic attacks from its limbs. Once its umbral bombardment lands, it releases 2 orbs of magic that fan out and annihilate all surrounding enemies. When it leaves the battlefield, Bahamut Arisen activates Giga Flare, an extremely potent attack that sees Dragon unleash beams of magic from its wings and maw, burning any foes alive. Jadao, so what can you make of this? Because I would have thought the Biggs we saw woke up in an orphanage at the end of Remake was in the Beagleverse. This seems to suggest Terrier since he's talking to Zack, obviously. So Beagle Biggs is dead or just waking up as well? No idea. We don't actually know that. But I have a feeling that he's dead in the Beagleverse. I think that's at least what's supposed to be kind of telling. That's what they're trying to tell us. And if it's a misdirect, it's a not great one. You know, it's a little bit. It's just disingenuous, right? So it's like a convolution. What if the body is Terrier but the mind is Beagle, or is that too convoluted? Perhaps a little too convoluted. I'm not saying that like no variant of that can't work, right? But you got to be really well defined. This is far too sacred of a story to like. If you make changes, they got to mean something. You know, you can't just like be gaslighting people into thinking that, you know, everything is happening in a dream space. This isn't Final Fantasy X. Okay. Phoenix. Also, where is this? Where is Bahamut? Okay. Bahamut Arisen. Where is this? Look. Road signs. Transformers? Dude. Is Mark Wahlberg going to show up? Transformer Station. Control Station 81. I think Sid's around here somewhere. A bird possessed of exquisite beauty and wings of brilliant flame. Phoenix not only flies about the battlefield assailing foes with its blisteringly hot attacks, but also heals the party's wounds. Yeah, I mean, it's doing Phoenix stuff. Just Phoenixing, doing Phoenix stuff. Given how early that we can get this based on like the HP levels, the fact that this is Junin, I think we can safely say this might be, you know, Fort Condor related. Also, just the, you know, beautiful peacock feathers. Looks great. Looks really good. When it departs the field of battle, Phoenix unleashes Rebirth Flame, which covers the party's HPs and spell Fiery Death. Any foes within wide range. Single feather fall from Phoenix wings, enveloping the battlefield in burning flames, after which bird rises from the cinders to deal the final blow. Relationships. Bonds of friendship. Okay. So here we go. Here's some meat, okay? Cloud's actions and the way he responds to other party members while conversing with them will affect his relationship with them. With a strong enough bond, you may even reap some benefits. So whenever you're faced with a decision, you might want to think hard before responding, especially if it concerns your favorite character. Okay? And we're shown, you know, like a dialogue tree. You know, like there's wrong and right here. So it's like the affection system in OG, but more complex. There's probably more points, probably more nuance to it. Okay. With a strong enough bond, okay, Cloud's actions, the way he responds to other party members while conversing with them will affect his relationship with them. With a strong enough bond, he may even reap some benefits, right? And then we scroll down. Benefits. So we're shown date scenes. Okay, so we have a date scene here with Aerith. And I do want you to note the body language here, the body language differences. I'm not like a guy that's like trying, again, please, there is no agenda here. But I am just doing a read on this. If you look at the perspective moods, you know, during this date, Cloud has something that's like kind of guarded. And from a shipping perspective, you can take that however you want. But from like a story perspective, him being guarded here is interesting. Because I think there's a fear of him being found out. Or something. There's some kind of... Him being guarded here, it could just be like he's uncomfortable with this level of feeling, whatever. It doesn't matter. But it's what's supposed to be conveyed here. And then we've got Aerith, who's open, you know, and facing forward and confident, and she's like in most of her interactions, she's got this, you know, kind of sort of intuitive understanding of emotional subtexts of situations, right? Here we've got, you know, Cloud and Tifa on a date, and they're both kind of in this open position. It seems like something here is like happening with some more free discussion. Also, look at the cannons here. Look at that. Look at that. Then we got what is clearly the most romantic of the dates, right? We've got Barrett and Cloud here. We got the red fireworks. You know, I like ignore the ones that Tifa has. Like, look at this. He's pointing his gun at him, but that's like a sign of trust. Like, they both trust each other. Like, only guns getting fired are the ones they want to get fired, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? They're sitting farthest from each other. I know. Okay, so... And then we have Yuffie. So, I was pretty surprised that this was going to show up in the game at all. I can imagine it'll be similar, though, where it's like Yuffie has a crush on Cloud, and like, you know, the kind of she's young and Cloud's like an adult and not interested. So it's the original dates, right? So there's no Red 13 date. Relationships. Loveless. A theatrical production based on the classic epic poem Loveless. It depicts a hero's fight against the Dragon King, the tyrannical ruler of Guardia. Or Guardia. LaGuardia. As well as his love for Princess Rosa. So, the background stuff too looks... I mean, it's a set, but I'm not going to discount the fact that it looks kind of reminiscent of, like, Final Fantasy 16. Okay. Thanks to the latest and VR technology, the Golden Saucer's Golden Theater brings this play to life like never before. Okay. So, I want to be crystal clear here. It sounds like what's being said is that Jesse, who's pictured, is maybe not alive, but maybe this is a VR simulation. I mean, it's placement. But to be clear, so a Hollywood AI recording. Yeah, that's the first thing I said. I'm like, oh man, the signaling on that is not good right now. No. No. Don't do that. Don't replace dead actors with AI. But this doesn't okay. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. This does not technically mean that Jesse is dead. It's just highly likely. So, okay. Depending on your relationships with your fellow theatergoers, the person playing Rosa may even change along with parts of the script. So, this is going to be the thing that you replay. So, like, this is, I think, from the way that I'm reading this, the date situation is you probably just, like, you probably make a choice then and there to take a person to, you know, the date scene. But where, like, you know, the remake version of the date in chapter, 9 happens, like, that version is really this play. This play is going to be the thing we replay several times so that we get all the weird meanings. Because Loveless is really, it's like a critical piece of lore. And so it's supposed to be prophetic. It's supposed to sort of, it was very likely written by the Cetra. And the reason we know that is because the verses are on Cetra tablets in the Benora Underground. So whatever this is has some kind of juice to it, has some kind of magic to it. So the way that we see Loveless play out based on, will probably tell us important things about the lore of Final Fantasy VII. And we can probably make predictions from those things regarding part 3. So this is going to be one of those things that enlarges the mystery, like, significantly. New screenshots, and then there's screenshots. This is clearly, like, Junon, and, like, so this is part of the Junon mini game related stuff. Clear, we know that. The Haunted Hotel. Look at this. Alan Wake, move over. Champion of Light right here. We've got the Corel under prison. We'll look on the press side at this because I want to look at that graffiti too. We got this. Fucking name, man. I love Yuffie's get up here. And look at this. That's so cool. Like, her outfit is like wildly different from other outfits we've seen represented. I also like that Yuffie's got like a Wu-Tai flair. And I'm hoping that it's Madame M. Because we do see Madame M in the trailer. If I didn't, I'm not sure I pointed her out. Okay, let's look at the press site. And then at the end of that, I'm going to make a prediction about how I think the game plays out. Let's look at the character renders. Bahamut Arisen looks cool. Okay, let's look at that. 25 megs, yeah. Oh, man. What a sick render. I like the kind of like the little cannons, basically, like these little materia balls or orbs almost that he shoots cannon out of. But like, so okay. So it's red. It's got a clearly red face, and the face is most akin to Neo Bahamut. So this is Neo Bahamut, just called Bahamut Arisen. And that's fine. Yeah, even as the head tentacle. So this is Neo Bahamut. But, like, looks better than anything I imagine. Like, the creature designs. This is just bonkers how good this looks. Xenosaga on Twitter confirmed that JP is Bahamut. Why are they doing that? Well, they shouldn't have localized it to Neo Bahamut in the first place. We got Dio. Okay, let's look at Dine. So here we get to see his gun arm. He's also got this locket. Who do you think's in there? What if it's a picture of Barrett? I can't quit you. Okay. Alright, that's never gonna happen. Marlene. Yeah, it's probably Marlene. Okay, let's look at Titan. Looks cool. I mean, I don't really need to zoom in on Titan. The key art is awesome. Hi, Charles. Charles agrees. Key art is peak. So, what do you guys think of when you look at this vista? Home? Yeah. Two hanging lanterns, too. Terrifying freedom. Yeah, snow. Snow lost in the frost. It's, I mean, they're all together, right? So where are they going to be all together right before? And there isn't like a real answer to that. It does look like, well, it looks like Canada, actually. It looks like all the Canada that gets filmed as America, right? So like if you watch shows that take place in like Northern California, they have these beautiful mountains. You're like, what, where is this filmed? I'm in California. I've never seen that mountain. And then you look up where it's filmed and it's like Canada. That's what this looks like. Post climate change Canada, which is technically in the Americas, but I think you meant by America the United, the Estados Unidos. Okay. Buddy. Charles, what are your thoughts? Okay. Let's look at the media kit. I haven't looked at the media kit. Has anybody else? Am I going to be surprised by this? Okay, new art. Regions of the world. Okay. Gilded Paradise. Okay, this is all Ace McDunk stuff. Who dares disturb my slumber? That's his quote. Okay, so we got quotes at least. Alright, that's cool. Shinra don't own the skies. They couldn't stop me even if they tried. Wow. That is muted. Okay. You took everything from me. Everything and everyone. Dine was once Bear's closest friend. Back when the two used to make their living as coal mines of Corel. Now he's a wanted man with a gun grafted to his left arm. As park director, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our gilded paradise. Won't charge for my services, but I wouldn't turn down a blood sample neither. Well, that's a weird thing to say. I'll help, but only if I get a little something from you first, understand? Why in the hell did fate pick me? Oh, that's a quote. Where are the Titan quotes? What does Bahamut Arisen say? And more. Relationships, dates, Jesse, Loveless, new screenshots. Okay. I am losing my voice, in case you guys didn't notice. So after this article, I'm going to just give you like kind of an idea of where I think everything is going, and then I'm calling it. And then we'll be back soon. Welcome in, guys. Thank you again, too, for everybody that has been here. Broden! Okay. What was the screenshot I wanted to take a very close look at? I did want to kind of take a look at this one. Okay, it's... this one. Because I tried on my phone and I couldn't download this for whatever reason. So let's just take a look. Okay. 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 Great resolution, God. It's just fantastic. Okay, down with authority. This is reused graffiti. Not all of it though. Some of it's new. That's not. That's reused. Oh, a lot of this is reused. Wow. I did a lot of cataloging of graffiti in Remake. Kind of boringly so. Good blue. This is new. It's also there. A very Shinra-less place. Interesting. Okay, so my final thoughts here on the trailer. So what's happening? Right? What? So there have been attempts by some of the developers, but not all of them, to minimize the importance of the title. Okay? So remake obviously meant more than remake. Rebirth probably means more too. Now, Nomura has been clear that and cheeky and clever about it. Some of the other devs, Hamaguchi and Katase, are just like, oh, just the other word for remake. So, I'm not going to say that they're lying. I'm just saying that that's not the truth. They're wrong, or they're being told to say that. There's obviously a lot of... There's no reason to keep Part 3's title a secret if it's not important. Just like it wasn't... It was important to, you know, obscure the title of Remake. And Rebirth, I mean. These things matter. Now, in Japanese, Rebirth and Reverse are the same word. Reverse is... And it's late. I'm Turquoise isn't here to explain it to me, but or to explain it in chat. But here's what I think is going on. I think that whether or not we play episode Zack alongside, like it snaps between the main narrative and episode Zack, like concurrently as the story meets its end, or if Zack's episode becomes unlocked at the end of the base game. Either way, I think that chronologically, or causally, we'll say, causally, Zack's episode is an epilogue to Rebirth. Meaning that things that happen at the end of Rebirth create the scenario we are playing with Zack in. And that is representative of the reversal portion of the title. The rebirth portion of the title. Does that mean that ultimately Aerith gets saved? I'm not saying that. Okay? Do I think that the game will end in a way that makes us unclear as to whether or not Aerith's truly dead? Yes. I do believe that. So that's kind of the loose framework of what I think's happening, and I'll get more into the weeds, more into the details of that and why I think that, when I have a voice. So when do worlds merge in your opinion? At the end of the epilogue. At the end of episode Zack. Where that falls in the story of FF7 R, It could actually be anywhere. I read a theory that when Aerith dies in the Sin timeline, she'll wake up in Zack's timeline. Yeah, I mean that's yeah, that wouldn't be implausible. We need more than that though. You know, we need something that's a little bit more substantial. Then we've just like, oh, we've created two continuities. One with one set of characters and one with another, and who does it benefit other than particular fan services, you know? Yeah, the main timeline. I got what you meant, Tenyo. And yeah, I mean, like, you know, that's not off the table. But what I think's happening, I think, at least thematically, and then you can kind of put the things together, is that the title is important for how Zack's story connects to the end of Rebirth, to the end of Reverse. Exile 6-8. There is a delay, so I'm not sure what thing you're saying, not unless it's a merging too. I think she'll wake up in Zack's timeline too, and when she does, corrupted Terrier Cloud will become Sephiroth and kill Aerith there too. This just made me so crazy. Oh man. Oh man. Hey, you know? Whatever. In the same way that, you know, Sephiroth uses other clones to make himself manifest. Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, like, it's possible. Cloud's special, though. Like, they've made it really clear that Cloud, as a clone, is distinct. He's got infinite potential, and that there's something that's something about Cloud that Sephiroth wants, and it's probably more than just, you know, something that the other clones can manifest. You know, he's unique. So I don't think that that's a thing that if Sephiroth could suddenly do that, would constitute like tonally consistent mechanics. You know? So it's pure SLs. It's not just the SL stuff. Like Cloud's first victory against Sephiroth was completely unpowered and 16 years old. You know, you can call it cheap shots all you want, but like nobody cheap shots Superman. It doesn't exist. Like it's still super impressive for a 16-year-old with a kryptonite sword to be able to hurt a sleeping Superman. You know, it's like the same kind of. And then just raw overpower him when he's being lifted up from prone state. Like, that doesn't even make sense. But then again, you know, the planet is smaller than Pluto and has gravity that doesn't work, etc. So, yeah. Mr. Doog, you have a theory. I want to hear your theory, and then I'm going to call it. Mr. Duke, let's hear your theory. I do think Zack's sacrifice is part of that Cloud we know. Who is Cloud without Zack Sephiroth, right? Does he still become the special person we know? No, he becomes a much worse special person. His infinite potential would be used for bad without Zack's sacrifice. Or without Tifa's intervention in the live stream. I'm thinking the idea is of if she wakes up, this guy is going to kill her, is the idea that some parts of Destiny cannot change and are set in stone. And Aerith being killed by Sephiroth is set in stone no matter what. So Marlene doesn't have to wake her up. I think that whether or not things like from a literal perspective, like from our perspective, are set in stone is different from whether or not that certain things are set in stone is a theme of the game. If certain things can't be changed, you can't always fight fate. Some people just have to die. Is the theme of Final Fantasy VII R? It is by default undoing the core themes of Final Fantasy VII OG in an absolutely irreparable way. I would rather Zack be in the live stream. I would rather everything in the Terryverse be a inconsequential dream than for an actual stated point be in a game that is meant to be a call to action about capitalism and environmentalism and about, overreach in jurisprudence, about, the humanity's struggle to find its place in the world. Like, if those things are so aggressively subverted by a secondary core point that certain things can't be changed, it completely undermines what made Final Fantasy VII good. Yeah, it would be KH, which KH is good in different ways. It's a different type of story. Well, death is part of being human. Death is what gives value to life. But things being set in stone as, like, some things you can't change. Like, meaning that, like, if a specific event has to happen in the way that it happens and nothing you can do can change it, then what's the point of even making this game? It completely undermines the value of the narrative to me. What made Final Fantasy VII stick out and be a challenge to the form. It would be similar to, like, I don't know, another mainline game like Final Fantasy 16 saying, hey, this is going to be the most unique, most original Final Fantasy ever made, and it's going to challenge the form, but then it's going to have 5-year-old, combat and, menus that haven't been used in 10 years. I mean, like, I'm not saying they won't do it. I'm just saying they shouldn't. Mr. Dugu. I think Cloud was born special, Super Saiyan, if you will. If you look at everything that's happened to him from childhood, first fight with Sephiroth, he has always been special from birth. He fell from the bridge, falling too, falling out, with scraped knee, amongst other things, then fights Sephiroth and cheer over. Yeah, dude. There's something weird about Cloud. We don't know what it is. We don't know what his dad is. We don't know anything about his dad. And his dad was introduced as this bizarre Chekhov's gun in Traces of Two Paths. Like, there's no body. His clothes were just found. So, like, the theory is he just, like, disrobed and then just walked naked. And they just assumed they never found the body and he died. But his dad became Genesis. That'd be so cool. You need to read that. I know. It was really good. Really good character building for both Tifa and Aerith. Okay. Well, guys. It's been fun. I think it's time to go. There's a ton of you here, so let's raid somebody. Because I got 2 raids. You gotta, like, pay it forward or whatever. Let's see. Oh, let's raid Blitz. Blitz is still talking about this stuff. So let's raid him. Okay, guys. It was fun. Thanks for hanging out. I had tons of fun with you guys. All right, raid.